What's up, metal and heavy music fans? It's time to chill with me again as we check out more of your latest recommendations for underground metal on Bandcamp. Alright, we're kicking things off with Nuh and Negative Transfer. Off of Suicide Records out of Sweden. Drums sound awesome already. Are we gonna go for some like kind of 90s like alternative on the guitar? Ooh. Kind of like a more extreme version of Helmet. Just a 3-song EP, but seems like it packs a punch. Good one to start with. What kind of details? We don't get many details here. Post-metal, post-hardcore. It does have a certain like 90s energy to it. Ooh, got this more kind of melodic section here too. Getting a little sludgy. I like that very like hypnotic. Ooh. Nice transition there too. This is great. And this, let me sample a little bit more here. Yeah, just big sludgy, kind of doomy, but also a little alternative, atmospheric, but crunchy. Production's really solid. Like, it's kind of like a perfect fit where it's capturing this atmosphere, but it's not too polished. Still got a little edge to it. I dig. Totally right up my alley. Kind of combining a couple of styles that I really enjoy. But that is Nur with Negative Transfer. Alright, next up we have Scent of Darkness with Insanitude. That's quite a title. Okay, starting off slow this time. We're going more overtly doom here. Yep. Kind of a neat painted cover here. These guys are out of Italy. Continuing the atmosphere trend, that's for sure. Another kind of shorter release here too. Yeah, as always, I gotta ask my Doom fans in the audience. I want to hear your thoughts on these more, since I am just such a noob when it comes to the genre. And on some level, still just don't fully get the appeal. Like, it's just not, you know, my usual style. But we've come across some good ones. Getting a good sense of, like, dynamics. Feels very kind of conceptual too. It's very kind of like storytelling kind of vibe to it. Got some acoustic in there as well. Chuggy part. I like the vocals. Some diversity there. They're also plenty heavy. I like these layered, kind of like misery-soaked guitars, too. So yeah, Doom fans, sound off. What do you think of Scent of Darkness with Insanitude? Alright, then we have Goatchrist with Odes to the Radiant One out of Leeds, UK. We're getting to some more raw production here. Oh! We got some like 70s prog in here, though. That name, I was expecting more just overt black metal. Interesting. Now there's the black metal. What we got here? Avant-garde black metal in the tags, so that tells us something. Experimental musical entity expounding Kabbalist truth. I like that synth. It's kind of unique. There's some cool layering of different styles happening here. But definitely, I'm hearing a lot of influence from like 70s prog rock. Like those synths right there, that's just like pure, like reminds me of like Yes and things like that. So it's an interesting fusion. Not completely unprecedented. There's definitely a few other bands. I mean, look at Enslaved. I mean, that's kind of like their whole shtick now. Yeah, this like Hammond organ here too. It kind of, the music reminds me of like old Nocturnal Mortem, but then mixed with those prog influences. And they're doing a good job of keeping it raw without like losing track of the instrumentation and all this cool stuff that they're doing here. So you wouldn't want that. Got some more aggressive moments here too. Sounds interesting. It's definitely something I'd want to dig into further. God, those synths especially. Like, this is major credit to Goatchrist. This is another one of the more unique, standout black metal releases I've heard so far this year. But that is Goatchrist again with Odes to the Radiant One. Alright, then we have ZGARD with Place of Power. This was a commenter recommendation from the last Best of Bandcamp episode. Looks like we got an intro here. Let's jump right into the tracks. Ukrainian group. Big fan of stuff that Ukraine has been dropping of late. Looks like it might be a solo project too, based on the photo. Love this cover. Strong atmosphere there. One-man band based in western Ukraine play a folk and black metal inspired by legends and the mighty landscapes of the Carpathians. Lyrics about spells, legends of the past, mystical contemplation of eternity and existing in this world. Definitely on the more atmospheric end of black metal, which sometimes I enjoy, but my biggest complaint of the genre tends to be repetition and song length. And judging by these average song lengths here, which are hovering around like 6.5 minutes, I say if your song's going to be that long, make sure you've got the dynamics to keep it engaging. I'm hearing some of that here. We got some like synth simulated strings, some aggressive parts, and then the slower parts, more melodic sections. Blast beats kicking up here. It's got a very kind of like, ooh, there's a thunder crack there. We got some rain background. Okay. Okay, so a little bit more than your average, like, I'm sorry, but I'm just over atmospheric black metal bands that just have the vocals, guitar, and drums, and the guitar line is just the same thing, like the same 30-minute or 30-second riff over and over again. But this doesn't sound like that. This track's a little bit more doomy. Ascension Fog. Another kind of like doomier section here. I wonder if it picks up. Yeah, it picks up later on. So this could be interesting. Yeah, so y'all check this out. That is ZGARD with Place of Power. Ooh, we got... this is that kind of like Nocturnal Mortem influence coming in again there too. Another they're from Ukraine too, so those little flute sections. But yeah, for real this time. Ooh, chorals. All right, right at the end you're kind of getting me here. But yeah, that we got to move on. That is ZGARD with Place of Power. Then we have Isengrim with Maailmantappaja. It's Finnish, so I have no idea. We got the classic insignia at the top. Definitely satanic vibes going on here. Atmospheric Finnish black metal. Looks like it's going to be a black metal kind of day, but I think we got some other stuff in here too. Really taking their time. It's like almost a double intro. We got that like ambient intro, now this acoustic part slowly building up. Let's see if things pick up. Here we go. That's a ballsy move to take 4 minutes to really like get into like the actual music. I shouldn't say actual music, but like the, you know, the meat of it. I feel like there's a lot of Venom influence on the insignia here. Not only the logo, but even the choice of font. This reminds me of, I think it's a Greek band I'm thinking of. That's like kind of a progressive avant-garde style of black metal. Gosh, their name, I can picture the album covers, but I just am blanking on the name. Their last album had like a woman, like kind of nude from behind with like a red cloth, like sash. I think there was like a baby too. I don't know. I like putting out the descriptions though, because there's inevitably someone in the comments that is able to figure out what I'm talking about. Yeah, cool, kind of like, again, folky-ish black metal. Finland's always dropping good stuff too. They get overlooked sometimes because, you know, Sweden and Norway tend to get most of the Scandinavian cred. But Finland's got some great stuff. I mean, Mors Principium S is honestly one of my favorite melodic death metal bands. Yeah, this is very similar to that other band. I wish I could remember. Because I like the varied vocals with the kind of like chanting. The drums, again, sound great. There's a lot of like emotion, a lot of different textures going on. See, this is what I'm talking about too. Like, if you're gonna have these longer track lengths, go for a kind of like proggier approach. Really got to keep things interesting. Vocal variety is always helpful too. Yeah, this seems like another one that I'd be interested in digging more. Cool cover too. I'm interested in this background figure here. Yeah, that is Isengrim with however the hell you pronounce this. Next is Verge of Lunacy with Regenesis out of Russia. Doing some globetrotting today. You know I'm a fan of that. Ooh. I think I've seen at least someone from this band in the comments on some of the videos too. So, metalcore band from Russia. Definitely hearing a mix of like Gothenburg melodic death metal with some more overtly kind of As I Lay Dying kind of riffs in there too. A little kill switch. Got some clean singing here too. Another very interesting cover. Yeah, this riff right here. It's kind of In Flames too. Pretty good mix here too. The clean vocals are pretty solid too. I get a lot of bands where the clean vocals kind of fall short, but it sounds pretty good. Solid guitar work. We got some soloing going on here. Production's a good fit for the style. A little bit glossier than the other albums we've been listening to, but that tends to work for this style. Ooh. Cool intro here. I think there's some synths here as well. At least in that intro. Ooh. Ooh. That was very kind of kill switchy, but again also a little In Flames. But it's mostly, this particular track is giving me strong kill switch vibes with those riffs, which I am a fan of. Takes me back to the days. Ooh, another little kind of understated synthy intro, building up into this kind of hypnotic riff. Ooh. Oh, those vocals are very kind of kill switch too. But then that symphonic element is really great. Give me goosebumps a little bit on this part. Ooh, and a big transition back to the palm muted parts. Excellent. Yeah, this is right up my alley for sure. So that is Verge of Lunacy with Regenesis. Next up we have the Noctambulant with Hellrazor. Little EP here. These guys are out of Jacksonville, Florida. Going back to black metal territory. This time melodic black metal. Nice vicious vocals, very snarly. Got a good kind of head bobbing quality to it. Just very classic black metal sounding guitars. Little dissection-y in there too. Check out another track here. Ooh, dang! That was a kick in the front door kind of intro. I like that. Cool pick. Got the trope of the black metal band in the woods. Always, yeah, eventually you got to do it. Drumming part sounded great there too. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Got some dynamics to it again too. Ooh, we got some soloing too. Which you don't always get on a black metal album, but I feel like more and more lately. Ooh, this nice kind of galloping part here. Got those kind of like that triplet energy. Oh, they carried over onto this one too. Ooh. Oh, I'm such a sucker for that. Bring in some death metal vocals there too. That was a cool little break. I love when they do those little cutouts and they come right back. Whew, that always gets me going. Love that. So yeah, this seems like it could be a really fun one for a black metal album. That is, again, the Noctambulant with Hellrazor. Next we have Withered Land with The Endless Journey out of Belarus. I don't think we've repeated a location yet, which is always fun. Ooh, big symphonic here. That sounds like real brass. I mean, it could be simulated, but it's got a much more organic feel. Another great cover. A lot of this theme today of like somebody journeying into the unknown. Atmospheric epic black metal solo project by Olga Khan from Belarus. Yeah, just fantastic atmosphere here. A lot of people use the term atmospheric, but like to me this is truly what atmospheric means. Like you gotta like actually build this sense of like you're almost there. Like I need to like feel and picture myself in this landscape. And it takes more than just, again, meandering guitar lines to do that. But yeah, you got this big production, you got these synth and symphonic elements fleshing things out. Okay, here we go. It was funny because I was just about to say I could use a little bit more personality in the guitars, a little more like standout riffing. So we got a little kind of folky melody going here. You need those hooks. Like, it doesn't really matter what genre you're in. You need some sort of hook to really, like, make things memorable, I would say. If you lack that, then it's harder to stand out. It's okay to not do that, but I'm just saying, like, from a marketability standpoint, even if you're going for something a little bit more experimental and weird, it pays to have those little hooks either in the vocals, the guitars, the synths, whatever, to keep people engaged. Like, even Igor, for all of his weirdness, has hooks in his music that you remember. But yeah, that is Withered Land with The Endless Journey. Then we have Chidori with Overly Excited for Underwhelming Situations. Interesting title. Really like this cover. I'll probably use this for the thumbnail, because it's bright, it's eye-catching, and it's a little bit disturbing. It's guys are out of Atlanta. Ooh, okay, we're getting some mathcore and post-rock energy here. Little electronic elements. Ooh, moving into this big bright part too. Okay, I know this is a big change of pace for some of you out there. Not gonna like this, but this is my shit right here. Bringing in those kind of, oh, we got Nintendo core in the tags. That's okay. That makes this bright Neon Monster cover make even more sense than it already did. Stuff you could listen to alongside, like the Fall of Troy. Softer parts, a little bit more like Minus the Bear almost. Of course, you could probably throw on some Horse the Band alongside this, although I think this goes in the much more melodic direction. Yeah, those like pop-punky kind of sections. I could see these guys doing well opening for like Under Oath potentially too. Ooh, I love those little screamo sections, man. Like, some people would call it a guilty pleasure. I have no guilt or apologies for enjoying this type of music. Like, if I'm not listening to metal, chances are I'm listening to some cheesy pop-punk or screamo kind of stuff, because it's just, you know, sometimes you just need that vibe. Yeah, I will definitely be spending more time with this. They got some shirts too. Oh, it's such a missed opportunity that it's just black and white though, when you've got this amazing cover. I know you're a smaller band, so you might not want to sink as much into the production of the shirts, but I gotta have me a bright blue, fully colored shirt of this. I will wear it in videos, please and thank you. Love these like noodly guitars, everything's so like bright and engaging, and love it. I could just sit here and listen to this whole album right now, but we gotta move on. That is Chidori with Overly Excited for Underwhelming Situations. Alright, let's get a little heavier again after that, shall we? We've got Ice Peak Hate with Feminization. And we finally have the combo breaker here. We are back to Ukraine, this time Odessa. Let's see. Just describe it as metal. Well, groove metal-y, I would say. Yeah, that's the first tag. Definitely got those kind of like Lamb of God kind of energy to it. Maybe a little bit of like God Forbid, even though that's more metalcore. But this part right here, it's a very kind of metalcore sounding riff. But there's a lot of crossover between the guitar styles in groove and metalcore. Yeah, I like these guitars. Another nice throwback to those like early 2000s style stuff. Oh, this is the same song. Oh, it's just a single. We do have a B-side here. Okay. So that was the main track. And then we've got Dissimulation. Little step up the riffing on this one. It's a little bit. I'm never a fan of those like like it. I don't know. It bores me. Yeah, very just repetitive. Okay, we move into a little bit more here. Yeah, and then we're back. See, like this is the repetition that kind of like makes my brain shut off. I think your first track here, even though there's still some repetition on it, I think there's more variance. You add these layered elements, and the riffs are just more intricate too. There's more going on. So yeah, stick with this style as opposed to that other track would be my constructive feedback to you. But I think you got something to build off of here. So that's Ice Peak Hate with Feminization. Alright, Blood River with Tales in the Path to Agony out of Santiago, Chile. Man, it's just been a black metal kind of day, especially on the more atmospheric side. Looks like we also got some death metal in the tags too. This picture looks familiar, so I wonder if we've covered these guys before. Yeah, I like those folky vibes. Anytime you can bring that folk energy into death metal or black metal, I'm particularly a fan. A little bit like Opethy too, just a touch. We got some nice synths here. I will say the production here, and I talk a lot about how to do raw production appropriately. I think it's not quite there yet on this one. Everything's been kind of like flattened out. You don't want that. Like, you want the edge, but you've kind of taken the bite out of, like, especially the guitar. The drums are okay. Like, they've still got solid impact, but the guitar feels like it's, like, just squished and, like, pushed to my left headphone for some reason. And it's distracting me. So I think a little bit more work on the mixing and production side of things. But as far as the songwriting goes, I'm digging these guitar parts. I like the folky influences. I like that you're incorporating synth. Ooh, I like this piano a lot. And the piano sounds good, too. I think it's just mostly the guitar. The guitar just is not mixed into the rest of this as well. And then the vocals are decent, but I think you could even... Oh, this is cool. Ooh, we got some organ here. That's fun. Again, bringing back those kind of like 70s vibes. Yeah, y'all have a lot to work with, I think, in terms of the actual construction and elements of your songs. Just work a little bit more on the mixing. Work on stepping up the vocals a little bit more, too. It feels like we're kind of getting almost like a Septic Flesh kind of vocal register here. So like, how do you like even deepen that more and add a little bit more variety to it too? But yeah, I think there's a lot to work with you. That is Blood River with Tales in the Path of Tales in the Path to Agony. All right, then we have Fact Pattern making a return with From Where You're Hiding. Getting some industrial, always happy to do that. It's from Remission Entertainment, which are based out of Oklahoma City. Not sure if the band is there or not. It's in the tags, so not fully positive. But anyways, always happy to share some industrial because we just don't get enough of it. I think we shared a single of theirs previously. It's hard for me to keep track of all the different bands. Definitely going for more of like those 80s vibes. Like it's still got that like early sound that you hear on like a little bit on Pretty Hate Machine, even more so on like early Skinny Puppy albums. Like going way back, I'm particularly thinking of like their debut. Or even on songs like Dig It. But yeah, just more of that like late 80s, early 90s kind of sound. Those synths right there, very Kevin Key reminiscent. Yeah, because they still got some of that like kind of like post-punk and like synth pop in their sound too. That gloomy, doomy style. Which I like, because you don't hear it very often now. But yeah, this will be for, I think in particular, the initiated, so to speak, industrial fans out there. And if this confuses you, like, this is the sound industrial started with. Like, before we moved into the more overtly, like, industrial metal and, like, heavier sounds and stuff like Ministry that more people are familiar with, This is like the roots here coming through, which is cool to hear. So yeah, that is Fact Pattern with From Where You're Hiding. Then we have Non-Serviam with Pleut, Partout, Derrière. It's not even close. It's French. We are in France. We're in Paris. Moving beyond my abysmal... That's probably my worst pronunciation yet, I think. Feel free to clip that to meme me and embarrass me and publicly shame me. Ooh. Electrona Nihilism, Sludge Industrial. Okay, this is different. Throwing me some curveballs here. This one's been sitting in my queue for a while too, it just wasn't out yet. Yeah, this sounds like some raunchy, speaking of industrial, taking a different take on it. Yeah, this is going for more of the like experimental noise side of things. Very aggressive, yet kind of like soothing in a strange way too. Some eerie, kind of whispery vocals here in French, so I have no idea what they're talking about. It's another EP too, but it looks like we got some covers as well. Yeah, this is the type of stuff I'd enjoy putting on headphones while I'm like doing some work, editing something. Ooh, this is cool. Got atmosphere, but also a nice sort of hypnotic groove to it. Yeah, there's lots of themes of like nihilism and misanthropy and stuff, it looks like. Fuck off and die is the last part of the description too. Fan of that, fan of that. Yeah, and then we also have, we got a Nirvana cover. Something in the Way too, not a song you hear covered as much. The final track on Nevermind. One of my favorites on the album, actually. Yeah, we're going for more of like a synth pop kind of take on it. We have an Obituary cover. Interesting. The influences must be all over the place. Well, that's an interesting take on Obituary. But yeah, you want something a little bit more weird. We got Non-Serviam with, again, however the fuck you pronounce that. All right, Laufgast with Roots for Spears. Lots of EPs today, too, which I'm fine with. As a reviewer, I love EPs because I can get through them quicker. I get sent so much stuff. We're in Israel now, so really just jumping all over the place. Interesting cover. Lots going on there. Like birth from nature kind of influences. Black metal, progressive, Viking metal in the tags. Production solid on this one. I'd even throw in some more like experimental. Heavy on the prog, I'll say that much. And even though it's just 3 songs, they're on the lengthier side, so you're getting a good like 30 plus minutes here. 32 minutes-ish. Sounds interesting. More solid dynamics in the songwriting I'm hearing. Pace changes. Ooh. Got some like ululated vocals here. I'm always a big fan of that. I think my first introduction to that in metal was Knife Party from Deftones, which is still one of my favorite songs. And it always kind of takes me back to that. Good driving drums. Nice synths. I think I'm hearing some piano in the background there too. Yeah, this Earthbed seems like a good title for this artwork here. Yeah, very cool. This is something I'd love to even like have up on the wall. Beautiful. Going for a doomier vibe on this one. Some pretty lengthy instrumental sections too. I wonder. I was gonna see if it was fully instrumental. We got some vocals towards the end. Yeah, another interesting sounding one. I really enjoy black metal on the more progressive side too, so definitely something I'd want to listen to all the way through instead of skipping around like a goon, but just giving you a little taste here. Again with Laufgast and Roots for Spears. And by the way, if you haven't already, subscribe if you like this segment, because I do this every month. I've got a whole playlist of them at this point, and then also full album reviews, tier lists. That sounds interesting, you'd actually watch the videos, then hit that sub button. Smash that sub button. Alright, and then we've got MxAxMxA. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to pronounce that a particular way. And then we have the title in Russian, and I cannot read Russian even a little bit, so I'm not even going to try. And they are a Russian band. Like this artwork. I always like getting a snapshot of what their live shows look like. This guy, where'd he go? This guy's having a great time right here. There, look at all these smiles. I love seeing a mosh pit with people just smiling. Like, that one wait I would bring up again. This looks like Pair of Jeans a little bit. Pair of Jeans reviews, what are you doing in Russia? Big intro here. Ooh. Okay, we're going grind. Another genre I don't get enough of, so... That explains the photo. Fully explains the photo now. Yeah, just some raunchy Russian grind is what we got here. They got comedy in the tags too, interesting. Be curious to hear a little bit more about their inspirations then. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? The only thing that's hard about grind is that, like, what do I say? It's like D-beat, blast beat, raunchy, punky guitars, there's even some punk vocals there, and chaotic screaming. Review over. Like, this is why I rarely review grind. It's not because I don't like it, it's just because, like, there's so little to say, so I'm mostly just giving you previews here, like, just to hear what it sounds like. Which, admittedly, is pretty rad. I'm a little... This is eerie with the baby crib in the cage. I don't know how I feel about that. Typically short songs here, too. Oh, there's not a... I'm almost disappointed that there's not... Almost every grind album worth its weight has like a 10-second song. That's just... like a 2-second one I've even heard. Yeah, it's fun, and I think the... foreign language vocals make it even more kind of fun in a way for me. But yeah, that is MxAxMxA. I guess it's like Mama? With whatever this monstrosity of a title is. Alright, next we have Epectase with V.I.T.R.I.O.L. Oh. Something incredibly different. Out of Paris, France. Shape-shifting entity fearlessly blending influences from extreme metal, 70s prog, and electronic music. Very kind of gothic. A little bit of typo vibes, just a touch. We just have a single here. Okay, picks up a little bit. Like this live photo. Big fan of the live photos. Lots of atmosphere. I like the mixture of vocals. I'm not generally into those more kind of like bassy, gothy vocals, but I like how they've mixed them together here. The layering here too in particular with that part. That's pretty rad. It's like they've got some other material you can check out too. You know what? Reminds me a little bit of like Triptychon too, in a way. A little different vibe, but the mixture of the harsh vocals with those deeper kind of warbly vocals has those same vibes. Yeah, that's pretty rad. Again, I know I'm just giving you samples of one track, but hopefully that's a teaser enough to go check this out. I like these little electronic touches too. So yeah, that is Epectase with V.I.T.R.I.O.L. Then we have Pillars of Autumn with Sodomizer 2. So it's like a B horror movie title. These guys are out of Toronto. Got some Brand of Sacrifice vibes a little bit, and they're from the same area, so cool cover. I like the symphonic editions here. Symphonic deathcore is just like, it's where it's at. Very brutal. Lots of groove too. And I've said repeatedly, that was a nice drop. I've said repeatedly that one of the most important things to having a successful deathcore band, I feel like, is it comes from the vocals. You need that variety, which is why I love Infant Annihilator and stuff like that, because they've got the like screeches, the deep gutturals. They'll throw in the breeze, but they don't overdo it. Like those bands that just bree like constantly, that's not for me. But this, we've got this like more kind of standard death growl. We've got the gutturals. We've got the shrieky stuff. And then add on to that with the awesome, these string and choral elements. Listen to this intro. It's like a fucking Dimmu Borgir album. And then the guitar work is solid. Like a lot of chugging, but the symphonic elements help balance that out. And then it breaks out into this more technical stuff. Hell yeah. Yeah, those little string strikes are great. This is awesome. I dig this. Honestly, I wasn't sure, based on that title too. Just to be honest, I judged a book by its cover a little bit. Assumed this would be some like big dumb slam or something. But no, there's a lot of stuff going on here that I am really enjoying and would like to spend more time with. But for now, that is Pillars of Autumn with Sodomizer 2. Alright, we have Earthwomb with Becoming Immanence. Little EP out of Lima, Peru. Back to some globe-trotting here. Cool cover. Very cold looking. Atmospheric black metal project. It's their own description. Yeah, that coldness coming through in the music, too. So that kind of like cascading waterfall effect of the music. We slow it down. I'm curious. So this kind of contrasts with what I was saying about the last album, where I think what I'd like to see here is, again, more vocal variety. Here, we got a little bit of something different there. But it's like, no matter whether the music's quiet or loud, we're kind of going with this same, just belted, just retch, which sounds cool, and it works, but if I'm looking for upping the engagement level a little bit more and stepping up the dynamics, that's where I'd put some attention into, because the instrumentation is great and the vocals aren't bad by any stretch. I've heard plenty of bands where the vocals were just straight up not good. think just a little bit more variety. I like this track too. So you take the vocals away, honestly, and sometimes it steps up the intensity. That's what I'm feeling about this one. Ooh, that little bass. Boom. Yeah, I'm glad y'all had the balls to do instrumental number here, because that one sounds pretty rad. Ooh. Okay. This is more like Shadow of Intent style here. So similar vocals, but we're also getting a little bit more of like a... So yeah, I think my critique stands. But I'm seeing that, and again, this is just me taking this from just like a sample of the album and not truly listening to the whole thing yet. I got a nice little interlude here. But yeah, I think that's the one area where I think an already impressive album, like I could see this being a high B tier, like B plus level album, but I think what would elevate it up to A territory would be continuing to play with how do you mess with the range of the vocals to further complement. Ooh, that was a nice little break with the musicianship. I mean, you're also doing a good job of kind of like pairing the vocals with the musicianship. Again, I think it's just shifting the sound of the vocals to go with that too. But anyways, that is Earthwomb with Becoming Immanence. Alright, I wanted to give a shout out to Agent Mulder. This was not really a request. But these guys are an awesome mathcore band, and to get on a little bit of a pulpit for a minute, they were unduly, quote-unquote, canceled for wearing a Michael Myers t-shirt that said "No Lives Matter" on it. It was not a political statement. It was very obvious that the joke was that Michael Myers doesn't care who you are, he will kill you anyways, and they are kind of a horror-themed band. I believe they were all wearing horror-themed shirts. And I just think that's ridiculous. Like, there are plenty of reasons to, you know, criticize a band, or, you know, when you find out that members of bands are doing some actually, like, illegal activity or causing harm to people, that's one thing. But if they're just wearing a freaking t-shirt that means nothing, and a few people got salty about it, like, you can fuck off. We don't need that. So that said, luckily, too, their music is also awesome. So if you're tired of stupid stuff like that happening and also you enjoy some really raunchy mathcore, this is just their latest single. But they have a whole album you can check out and some other stuff to enjoy. As you can hear, lots of variety here, too. These clean parts. Got kind of Norma Jean vibes on this one, I'm kind of feeling, actually. They describe themselves as 4 pale nerds grinding out chaotic noise-filled symphonies. Back in Ontario, Canada. So yeah, just seemed like cool guys. Had just a bad rap for no reason. Like, their live set got pulled by that station for that stupid thing. They're too talented for that. So throw Agent Mulder some support on Bandcamp. This track, again, is called A Warm Place to Burrow and Wilt. All right, then we have Bednja, stop putting so many consonants close to each other, with Ponosni u Smrti out of Croatia. I think that's a new one for us. I don't think we've hit up Croatia. Kind of cool competing vocals here. I love dual vocals. Sounds like they're screaming at each other. Ooh, getting a little crusty here. Crusty, grindy. Dark, cold, and fast is the only thing they've written in the description. I like that. Let's see, tags, death metal, post-black, hardcore. Like those drums. It's like raw, but it has atmosphere too. It's kind of interesting. Little touch all of the extreme styles. Ooh. That was a cool intro. I love a good intro, y'all. Like, I'm a sucker for like two things that always first come to mind. D-beat, which this has, and a great intro that just like gets you fucking pumped. And those make great for live performances too. I feel like the art of the intro kind of falls short sometimes. People think of it more as like having a big 30-second like atmospheric build-up. I'm kind of over that. I'm more for that like silence, and then just like they did, like just like belt out some crazy phrase to start a mosh pit going. Yeah, it's pretty rad. Kind of grindy, a little bit of, like they said, hardcore. There is that punk element in there, mixed with the death metal. Got some acoustic at the end, too. Ooh, it's some strings. Everybody's all about the strings. Does it get heavy again? Oh, wow, it's just a long, like a 6-minute, just like straight up acoustic and string arrangement. Interesting way to close your album. Okay, this seems like a band to watch. But yeah, that is Bednja with Ponosny u Smrti. Alright, Nus Temp de las Estrellas a la Aurora with out of Chile, I should say. Is that our second time Chile today? Maybe even more than that? I'm losing track. As you might notice, I've started, because I have so many now, breaking these into... I record these over more than one day, so I forget everything that was recorded in the first segment at this point. Hate to break the immersion. But I do enjoy... this is cool with the more acoustic starting off here. But I do enjoy... somebody gave me a comment of how it feels like watching these segments is kind of just like hanging out and chilling, checking out music together, and that's exactly the vibe I'm going for. I love that. In fact, I'm hoping to maybe kind of like do this on a live stream again at some point, to actually do that, like, because I love that. I love that feel. I like watching YouTube channels where it does feel like we're kind of hanging out. That's why I like stuff like Game Grumps. Like, it feels like you're just chilling, goofing off with friends. Red Letter Media too. Anyways, I'm totally off topic. Sounds like we got some more kind of like post-black, black gaze kind of stuff here. Yeah, atmospheric black. Yeah, black gaze in the tags. Making sure it's a band that's not going to be insulted by using that tag. Some people don't like it. Yeah, really leaning into the shoegaze elements on this one. The production, I think, is my one critique on this one. I say they went a little too raw, I think. And also, you can probably tell more if you're listening on headphones, but you've got this really kind of filled out synth that reminds me of like Badalamenti stuff from Twin Peaks. But then the guitars and the vocals and everything else is like really raw. It almost feels like two different production styles like mashed together. Which I guess is kind of interesting. So maybe that's not a bad thing. I don't know. It's just different. It's just weird to hear like really full production on one element and then everything else is kind of buried under that and raw. But I don't know. Maybe that's kind of like a... was that a purposeful choice? I don't know. But I do think the instrumentation could benefit from a little bit more of that like kind of ghost bath touch. This track actually sounds a little bit louder. But yeah, but once the synth kicks in, it's kind of the same deal where it almost sounds like the music coming through in mono, but with the synth over it. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. It is kind of interesting. Music itself is cool. It's very chill. Like, despite how abrasive and like treble heavy the distortion is, the way they've mixed it with this kind of ambient soundscape is strangely soothing. I feel like my ears are kind of adjusting to it now, so I don't know. I'm no producer, y'all, so, you know, I'm just coming at this as a fan of music and what I've heard before, so don't take my word as gospel by any means. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just saying, I'm thinking out loud. But this is just chill, though. I like this. Not something I'd, like, do as a go-to and, like, really sit down and, like, fully pay attention to. This is more something I'd have on, like, in the background as I'm doing work or something, editing, to kind of keep chilled out. But there's a place for that music, too. So, yeah, that is... however you pronounce that. Nu Temp with De La Estrella a la Aurora. Alright, we have Grosso Gagetto with World Ruled by Big Pigs. And oh man, this cover. There's a lot going on in this cover. Very, very interesting. Another French project. Interesting to see. Ooh. Get that like electronic industrial beat going. Speaking my language. Continuing the theme though of also the kind of very chill synth and the ambience. This reminds me actually of, I went down a rabbit hole years ago when dubstep got super popular, and this reminds me of listening to like Bass Nectar and stuff. There's hip hop, rap, punk, industrial rap, noise, all in the tags here. Yeah, speaking of more like chill stuff to put on while I'm like doing work or just trying to relax. We get a little crunchy here too. Hell yeah. Yo, I love me some hip hop, like generally like 90s stuff like Wu-Tang, which you might be able to see 36 Chambers behind me, kind of over my shoulder. And then also as far as modern stuff goes, stuff like Danny Brown. There's a new Aesop Rock album that I wanted to check out more, because Aesop's one of the only artists that I still like actually buy physical albums from. Danny Brown to an extent too. And then I really respect Tyler, the Creator, too. I'm not as into his newer stuff, but I really had a kid actually get me into his older stuff. This is cool. Very just atmospheric in a different way. And regular listeners know I love all things kind of industrial. Some of these soundscapes even have some of that like Skinny Puppy vibe to them, but then mixed with more of a hip-hop element. This is a very Kevin Key sounding track here, speaking of which. Like, this is totally something Kevin Key would put on one of his solo albums, like the Dragon Experience. Yeah, this is neat. Do they actually... I'm wondering where the rap comes in. Like, is it just the fact that it's very, like, beats you could rap over, or is there actual rap on here? Oh, yeah, here's that dubstep vibe. No shade on that either. Like, dubstep's cool, y'all. Like, I liked me some Skrillex when that was getting huge, and then I also, like, kind of dug into stuff like Burial, too. That's more kind of like, if you ask the true, like, dubstep aficionados, that's, like, real dubstep. And it is a little bit more kind of low-key and chill. This is neat, though. I always like finding stuff that's a little bit different, so hats off to Grosso Gagetto for reaching out to me. Hopefully you're watching. This is neat. I might have to investigate this a little bit further, and hey, name your own price for the album, so why not? So again, that is World Ruled by Big Pigs. Alright, then we have Verminoth with Primordial Tomb. Out of York, Pennsylvania. Alright, back into the abyss here. Straight up just brutal death metal. Going back to like 90s style. They have H.P. Lovecraft in the tags too, but OSDM is also in there. So yeah, just straight up vile, classic Old school death metal never dies. Personally, again, I listened to so much of this as a kid when I was getting into like Cannibal Corpse and Dying Fetus and everything that I've kind of gotten over it. I'm more into like progressive death metal and avant-garde death metal and stuff now, but still a place in my heart for this. Doing a decent job of varying up the vocals just a little bit. But this very much strikes me as music that's just like, look, we love the classics, we worship those old album covers, and that's what we're setting out to do. We're not going to overcomplicate things. But that was a nice pace change there. That raw production style also just like drips of early 90s albums. Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to say, you know? there's not much more I can say that I haven't said a billion times about this style. Ooh. Okay. Moments like that are always fun. I'm glad I stumbled onto that. But yeah, you basically get the idea. That is Verminoth with Primordial Tomb. Alright, we got one from Transcending Obscurity here. Awesome Indian label. Chris and I both used to write for the webzine back when that was a thing. But this is Monument of Misanthropy with Unterweger. More brutal death metal. This going for a more modern style. Very cool cover. Lots of detail there. This is out of Austria. And I don't bring up Chris enough, but yeah, Chris Dahlberg, he does all the written reviews on metaltrenches.com. So if you haven't hopped on over there, you can find, my daily videos are on there. And then also, if you're looking for more, Chris covers a lot of underground stuff, and we try to cover different things. I feel like he gets into a lot more black metal too, if that's your bag. This is cool. If you enjoy these too, don't forget to subscribe, because I put up one of these episodes about every month. They just keep getting longer and longer. It's almost like a podcast now at this point. And then, of course, in between, there's a lot of merch here. In between, I'm also doing videos 4 days a week, generally, so lists, best of the month, best of the week, album reviews for big new releases, random lists shouting out different genres, trying to push out as much underground, under-respected music as I can, but also growing the audience, talking about more popular artists, and doing tier lists of discographies. So yeah, if that sounds interesting to you and you're actually going to watch, hit the sub button. As for this, solid stuff, all around. Great production, not overly glossy, but really capturing all the instrumentation. Very aggressive, good vocal variety. We got the like Bree sound, we got the death growl, we got the higher snarl right there, right on cue. Man, it's so hard to switch tracks because there's so many. I mean, if you like physical media, they've got all sorts of stuff for you here. T-shirt, CD bundles, lots of different t-shirts. I mean, with this artwork too, like that would be a shirt I definitely wouldn't mind wearing. Y'all want to send me one? I'm extra large. I'd wear it. I'll wear it on the video. Very aggressive. A little death grindy too. A little bit of like even like cattle decap vibes to an extent. Yeah, they do have death grind in the tags. There's an Australian band I covered, I think last year too, that had a kind of similar sound to this that I liked. Yeah, very dense, very just full speed ahead. Crunchy. Good stuff. Like nothing earth-shattering, but pretty cool. Ooh, a little solo coming in there too. Yeah, that is Monument of Misanthropy with Unterweger. Then we have Shadow Mass with Oculus Diaboli out of Greece. I think it's been a minute since we've been in Greece. We going Doom here. From the name of the band to this album cover to this photo. A little black metal-y looking too. So let's see. What do y'all think? Vote now. Black metal or doom? Still kind of doomy, but it could just be an intro. Oh, I love those. One of my favorite things in these doomier parts, though, are those big, triumphant, harmonized guitar lines. Part of why I like Chemists a lot. Big build-up. So what's it going to be? Okay. Okay. A little more. Oh, blackened heavy metal is the description here. So we're all wrong. And we're all right at the same time. This is cool. I do really like that fusion in particular. I'm not a huge like classic heavy metal listener, but when you mix it up with black metal, it can be a match made in heaven. And there's a couple of groups doing that right now that I really enjoy. So particularly Bone Hunter. They're a little bit more kind of like speed metal with black metal, but still same kind of idea overall with the guitar sound and everything. Just similar concepts at play. Makes for great guitar work too. But these vocals are solid too. I get a lot of like heavy metal tinged bands with really crappy vocals. So this works. But where it's really at for this style for me is the guitar work. This stuff. I like when they bust out into kind of the bridge and start dueling solos and things like that. Drums are fun too. Speaking of those cheat codes, we got those like more skanky beats going on. Yeah, fun stuff. Good energy. By the way, if you've been hearing noise in the background, it's my 1-year-olds wondering what the heck I'm doing in here with this crazy mask on. She's playing with some sort of car out there now. We only have a few left, though. So we should probably move... Ooh, I like this big build-up with it. Cool drumming. That's like a full interlude of that. But yeah, that is Shadow Mass with Oculus Diaboli. And then we have Crust with Stoic out of Russia. And I'm like, is this going to be a crust band? Because I love the idea of a crust band that just is like, bro, what should we call our band? I don't know, Crust? This sounds a little bit more blackened though. Another great cover. Very cool, I like that. Hearing elements of very black metal-y guitars, but death metal vocals. The doom metal's in the tag too. I was definitely hearing that. Little disappointed, I won't lie, that it's not a crust band. But I like what I'm hearing. Yeah, here's the more expansive, slowed down, doomy part. Looks like they even have a video. I'm not going to try playing that though. Every time I've tried doing that, it ends up screwing up. I like that they're mixing in these faster parts too. That always appeals to me. A couple songs on the longer side. This is the longest one on the album. Yeah, going for a more straight up death doomy vibe on here. Aww. Just big head bobbing, falling into the abyss kind of music on that one. Got a blind man in the darkness. Very kind of raw sounding. A little different from the other doom bands I've been covering lately that are a little bit more atmospheric and pretty, so to speak, with like strings, and this is just raw and dark and dingy. More that kind of like Triptykon atmosphere. I wouldn't say they sound like Triptykon, but it's giving me like a similar kind of energy. It's chuggy kind of groove there too. Got some acoustic. Okay, shouldn't speak too soon about the pretty elements there. A very depressive vibe here. So I'll always ask you all down in the comments, especially you like big Doom fans in there, what do you think about Crust? And again, that album is called Stoic. And then we have Matador with The Surge. Out of British Columbia. Big drum build-up. What do we got here? Rock, doom, post-metal, post-rock. Another EP. The instrumental? Oh, it is instrumental. Good way to close things out. Like that bass. Well, they did the thing again where their default song is the closing song. I always feel weird about that. Very kind of tranquil. More kind of chilled out stuff I'd put on in the background. It's for a good palate cleanser too. This part's very 90s. Getting even kind of like quicksand helmet vibes in there mixed in a little bit. And I like how the bass and the guitar feel like they're kind of like talking to each other. Like that's when instrumental music works, is you allow the instruments to kind of do what the vocals would be doing. Ooh, big twinkly, kind of starry-eyed vibes to this one. Or I picture like the sun like twinkling off of like the ripples in a lake or something. The ocean. I really enjoy instrumental music, actually. I went through quite a phase where I was like actually pretty deep into it, and I try to give it its due, because I feel like it does get under-respected and underrepresented. No vocals, huh? But I mean, it's just, by its nature, people like to be able to like sing along with things and kind of connect to it on that human level. But given the right band, doing the right way, which Matador appears to be doing here, I could see myself really enjoying this. So again, that is Matador with The Surge. Alright y'all, that may be our longest one yet once I put this all together. So let me know down in the comments what was your favorite, what did you end up buying, what are you going to check out more, and then check out this playlist for even more Best of Bandcamp, and also again, subscribe if you haven't already. But that'll do it for now. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.